All right, welcome to the sports chat portion of Orangeline. I'm Alex Hubert Davis Dingman. This is Chris J. Billis Smitty over here, and we're going to talk about the Big 12 championship. To begin with, KU knocking off Texas by 10 points, but it was a much closer game than that, especially in the first half. Both teams really firing off, and they look like two of the best teams in the country right now, if not the best going in the tournament.
Oh, absolutely, and I've got both those teams going in my Final Four for March Madness, but that first half was some of the most unbelievable basketball I've ever seen. It really mirrored that Tennessee-Memphis game that we saw earlier where everybody's shooting lights out. Mario Chalmers drops 30, Brandon Rush kicks in 19. Just unbelievable night for both teams. DJ Augustine looked incredible in the first half, and then they were finally able to shut him down a little bit, but then when he went down, Abrams went up, so it was just a great game.
Yeah, pretty much just the post play for Texas, not quite strong enough. Darrell Arthur 16-9, and that's the real scary thing. You know, they made 15 threes, one shy of the school record, but they also did a great job down low, and they're playing like a complete team right now. If they can keep this going, Rush was huge in the semis, and then Chalmers comes out with 30 points, looking absolutely tremendous, knocking down all those open shots. Texas tried to play a zone, and it wasn't quite working for him.
And I was kind of surprised because Rick Barnes really didn't change much going into that second half. He stayed consistent with that zone, and Chalmers had a record-breaking night in the final, and then Brandon Rush broke his own career record the night before. So a record-breaking weekend for Kansas turns into a #1 seed going into the national tournament.
Yep.
Hubert,
definitely.
Give me your thoughts on the national tournament.
Well, KU made it to the Elite Eight last year, lost to UCLA. Haven't been in the Final Four since '03, so we're going to try to get back there. And two of the bracketologists picked KU to win the whole thing this year, and we'll see if that lives up. But I picked them to win it every year, so this year I haven't gone to the Final Four, but not winning the whole thing. But let's go through a little bit of our Sweet 16 picks, some of the sexier picks that we've chosen. I got Notre Dame in there. And I think that'd be a tough matchup for North Carolina, but UNC is so strong they'll probably advance. Also, USC Davidson. I got that down there in the Midwest. I think Davidson could definitely knock off Georgetown, who I think is a little overrated, getting that 2 seed. I mean, I think they're deserving of it, but I don't think they're really a strong 2. And on the other side, I got West Virginia knocking off Duke. I just believe that Alexander for West Virginia could be a difference maker. He could drop 30, 35 points and knock off a Duke team that kind of historically hasn't been real tough in the national tournament.
Right.
And then also Pittsburgh, I got knocking off Memphis. Memphis, a team that got challenged once by a Tennessee team somewhat recently, lost to them. Pittsburgh, a very tough team coming out of the Big East, and I think that they might be able to outmuscle Memphis. What about you?
All right, well, my sexy pick mostly consists of Clemson. I love the way that they run at teams in the ACC tournament. They've really got a lot of momentum, really showed North Carolina what's up, gave them a real run for their money in the ACC tournament, and I think Kansas is going to have their hands full. I do have Clemson overtaking Vanderbilt, and then I think that game against Kansas, both teams like to run, both teams are incredibly athletic, and I think if Kansas is going to lose, it's going to be a team that's real athletic, loves to run like a Clemson or a North Carolina. But I do have Kansas going all the way to the Final Four. I just want to say I think Clemson will give them a run for their money.
So who do you got in the Final Four? You got KU in there, who else?
I do. I got Kansas, and then I got UNC from the East, Texas from the South, and UCLA from the West. I love that Texas pick just because they look so good against Kansas, as we just mentioned.
Yeah.
I really think that they're one of the top teams in the nation. This year, I think it's an interesting tournament just because I really feel that the top 7 teams or so are really separated from the rest of the pack. I feel that there's 7 outstanding teams, being the 4 #1s, and then the Tennessees and the Texas and even the USCs, the way that they're playing right now. Taj Gibson playing unbelievable. I think that he's going to take a big part in that Kansas Elite Eight game. So I think there's 7 teams or so that really stick out.
Yep, and I also have those 4 teams in there in the Final Four. I got KU, UCLA, a rematch from the Elite Eight last year. Got them in the championship game. I usually pick KU, but they haven't won it since I was 2 years old. So I went ahead and put UCLA winning the whole thing this yeyear, and it looks like you do as well. They're a tough team.
I do. I think they're unbelievable. They got a great inside-outside presence with Kevin Love, Darren Collison on the outside hitting threes.
Yep.
They're a tough team this year. It's going to be a battle. Looking forward to March.
Yeah, and the Pac-10 was pretty strong this year, so they are definitely playing some good competition. Well, we talked about the national tournament. That's pretty much the biggest thing going on right now because it is March, and we'll go ahead and see how wrong we were after a couple rounds this weekend and come back next week, talk some more about it. But right now, let's kick it to an interview with Richie Bryant that you had earlier.
Joined now by track star Richie Bryant. Richie, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're just coming off a really successful indoor track season from a team standpoint. Tell me a little bit about what the team did in the indoors. Obviously, 2 national qualifiers. Seems pretty successful.
Yeah, it was a great indoor season. Everybody progressed from the beginning to the end. we ended up having 10 people qualify for nationals. So only 9 people went because Comey got hurt, so he didn't end up going. But we had a lot of PRs. Everybody was improving every track meet, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me a little bit about you from an individual standpoint. Obviously, All-American, you and Ashley Miller were our 2 All-Americans this year, and at Nationals finished 2nd in the conference and then 5th at Nationals. Incredible feat. Tell me a little bit about what that national track meet was like.
Well, I'm kind of used to the Nationals, so I always get nervous, but I was already used to the feeling of being there and everything. Last year I was hurt, so I went to Nationals, but I didn't end up jumping because I didn't want to pull my hamstring all the way. So it felt really good to get into Nationals this year.
Tell me a little bit about that. It's your senior year this year. How important was it to go out on top like that? Obviously, big disappointment to get hurt your junior year, but to come back senior year, place 5th, get really close to 1st. The whole pack of those front 5 were incredibly close. Tell me a little bit about what it feels like to go out on top like that.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was really worried at the conference meet because when I went to conference and it was our last meet before Nationals, and I haven't qualified yet. So my very last jump at conference qualified me for Nationals, so I was worried until I was like, okay, I'm not going to make it to Nationals, and then I finally got there, and then I got to Nationals, and I wasn't going to make the finals. I didn't think I made the finals, and I ended up making it, and then just being all close in a pack like that, it was intense, and I was just happy I finished in the top 6 to make All-American.
Definitely. Well, we got clutch performer here. Tell me a little bit about the momentum going into spring. Obviously, you and Ashley Miller performed excellent. How excited is Coach Kindler about this season, and how excited are you to go outdoors?
Yeah, I feel like he's so excited because everybody did so well indoor, and then usually that transfers into outdoor, better times and everything, more confidence because not many people are used to indoor, so they feel more comfortable outdoor, and I'm really excited. I'm trying to get back to 25 feet in long jump, and I'm ready to. My sprinting indoor didn't go so well, and I'm hoping that'll change outdoor also.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, hopefully you can go back to back here. Tell me a little bit about the events that you're going to plan on doing in the outdoor. Are you sprinting and jumping, or just jumping?
I'm going to end up sprinting and jumping, probably the 100 long jump and 4x1 most likely. He might try to throw me in the 200, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you mentioned Comey a second ago, another big-time performer for the track team. How's his injury coming along?
He practiced yesterday, so I feel like he's ready, to come back. I don't know. Only he knows, but so when he comes back, we'll be pretty strong on the 4x1 and the sprints. Definitely.
Well, you mentioned Coach Kindler a second ago. Let's talk about him. New coach, completely new system. Heard a lot of great things about the track program and a bunch of the changes that they've made. Can you elaborate a little bit on that for me? What's Coach Kindler brought to the table?
Yeah, well, he's different from Mallender. Mallender seemed a little bit laid back. Kindler's, get it done, do this, but he's a good guy, and he has his laid back times too. He's the distance coach, so I really don't spend too much time around him at practice.
Right.
I'm more with Mackie. So on that point, we got bags for nationals. He got us a deal with ASICs, so we're getting half price on ASIC stuff and stuff like that. So I feel like he's doing a really good job.
That's awesome. Well, Richie, good luck in your new gear and on the spring season. We'll kick it back to the studio.